আসসালামু আলাইকুম। বিসিএস ব্যাংক ও অন্যান্য চাকরির পরীক্ষায় ইংরেজি সাহিত্যের বিশেষ সাজেশনমূলক প্রশ্নের সমাধান পর্বে সবাইকে স্বাগত। দ্য মার্চেন্ট অফ ভেনিস ইজ এ শেক্সপিয়ারিয়ান প্লে অ্যাবাউট ড্যাশ। দ্য মার্চেন্ট অফ ভেনিস ইজ এ শেক্সপিয়ারিয়ান প্লে অ্যাবাউট এ জিউ। দ্য কোয়েট অল দ্যাট গ্লিটার্স ইজ নট গোল্ড ইজ ড্যাশ। দ্য মার্চেন্ট অফ ভেনিস I am a Jew, hath not a Jew eyes, hath not a Jew hands, organs. Where is this from? The Merchant of Venice. The Merchant of Venice is written by Shakespeare. Shakespeare's Merchant of Venice is a comedy. Fill in the blank. Dash is Shakespeare's last play. Tempest. Caliban is a character in Dash. Caliban is a character in Tempest. William Shakespeare wrote Tempest. Who wrote the Tempest? William Shakespeare. Who asked Prosper to stop the tempest? Miranda. One of the following plays is not a tragedy. Tempest. Which is known as Shakespeare's swan song? The Tempest. The characters Prospero, Alonso, and Antonio are from The Tempest. Where do the victims of a storm take shelter? In Prospero's Island. Shakespeare's Measure for Measure is successful tragicomedy. Who wrote the play Measure for Measure? William Shakespeare. Who cancels Claudio death penalty? Venantio. Who is arrested to make Juliet pregnant? Claudio. Who offers her life to save Claudio? His sister Isabella. Who wrote The Taming of the Shrew? William Shakespeare. Who is the author of The Taming of the Shrew? Shakespeare. Comedy of Errors নাটকটি কে লিখেছেন? William Shakespeare. Twelfth Night is a comedy. Twelfth Night is written by William Shakespeare. The drama A Midsummer Night's Dream is written by Shakespeare. Shakespeare wrote A Midsummer Night's Dream. Shakespeare wrote A Midsummer Night's Dream. The poem Under the Greenwood Tree was written by William Shakespeare. In Under the Greenwood Tree, the tree refers to forest. In the lines, Here shall he see or no enemy, taken from Under the Greenwood Tree. Here stands for nature. In Under the Greenwood Tree, the poet mentions two enemies. In Under the Greenwood Tree, which of the following mentioned as an enemy? Winter. What is the major attraction of life as expressed in Under the Greenwood Tree? No enemy. The sweet bird's throat in Under the Greenwood Tree refers to the melodious song of the bird. Shakespeare thinks that the only enemies in the forest are cold winter and rough weather. The line that follows, Who doth ambition shun in Under the Greenwood Tree is, and loves to leave the sun. For God's sake, hold your tongue and let me love. This line is written by John Donne. Who wrote the poem The Good Morrow? John Donne. John Donne was a metaphysical poet. Who has written the play Volphone? Ben Jonson. Which of the following school of literary writing is connected with a medical theory? Comedy of Humors. Ben Jonson introduced comedy of humor. The Silent Woman was written by Ben Jonson. Every Man in His Humor is the best work of Ben Jonson, who is called the father of English comedy of humors. Ben Jonson. Who wrote the poem To His Joy Mistress? Andrew Marvell. Andrew Marvell was a metaphysical poet. Who wrote the poem The Definition of Love? Andrew Marvell. Which of the following is written by Robert Herrick? To Daffodils. In Robert Herrick's poem To Daffodils, human life is compared with all three ABC: summer's rain, morning's dew, spring. In the room To Daffodils, the poet weeps over short-lived human life. In To Daffodils, human life is compared with morning's dew. Why is the poet so sad to see the daffodils in Two Daffodils? The poet is sad because the flowers remind him of his own death. The poet Robert Herrick requests the daffodils to wait till the evening prayer. Hasting day in Two Daffodils means hurriedly passing day. Which two things of nature does Robert Herrick find similar to human beings and daffodils? Summer's rain, morning's day. Two Daffodils gives poignant expression to the inescapable dash of life on earth. Transience. In Robert Herrick's Two Daffodils, apart from human beings, what other things are short-lived? Summers and morning dew. In Two Daffodils, the words "the appearance of morning dew" indicate our transitory life. The gist of the daffodils is that life is short. In Herrick's Daffodils, if songs mean song of the evenings, the central idea of Two Daffodils is that life is short, so life to the fullest. The last line of Two Daffodils is never to be found again. Herbert is influenced by dash. Herbert is influenced by dawn. Herbert is entitled as dash. Herbert is entitled as Deacon, who was both a poet and priest. George Herbert. Better to rejoin in hell than serve in heaven. Who wrote this? John Milton. Of the following authors, who wrote an epic? John Milton. Better to rejoin in hell than to serve in heaven. Who said this and where? Satan in Paradise Lost. Milton's Paradise Lost is a poem. Who wrote on his blindness? John Milton. Who is the composer of Paradise Lost? John Milton. Paradise Lost was written by John Milton. Milton's Paradise Lost is a religious epic. Who of the following is a famous epic poet in English literature? John Milton. Better to rejoin in hell than to serve in heaven. Who said this and where? Satan in Paradise Lost. Paradise Regained in an epic by John Milton. Who wrote the book Paradise Regained? John Milton. Paradise Lost কাব্যের রচয়িতা কে? অথবা Who wrote the epic Paradise Lost? John Milton. The main character in Paradise Lost book 1 and book 2 is শতান। শোক গীতি লিসিদাসের রচয়িতা কে? জন মিল্টন। প্যারাডাইস লস্ট attempt to justify the ways of God to man. Areopagitica was written by John Milton. Blank verse is a kind of verse having no rhyming end, an epic based on dash performed by a hero. Heroic deeds. All for Love is a dash. All for Love is a drama. What was Dryden's father? A village rector. Who wrote the play All for Love? John Dryden. Who was known as the father of modern English criticism? John Dryden. The Rape of the Lock by Alexander Pope is a or an mock heroic poet. Who is not a Victorian poet? Alexander Pope. Poet Alexander's famous work, Rape of the Lock. Who was the famous mock heroic poet in English literature? Alexander Pope. Alexander Pope's An Essay on Man is a poem. To err is human, to forgive is divine. Here the word divine means godlike. How many lines does the Rape of the Lock have? 794 lines. Who commands the ships to guard Belinda? Ariel. আমাদের ভিডিও যদি আপনাদের কাছে ভালো লেগে থাকে তবে অবশ্যই ভিডিওটি লাইক এবং বন্ধুদের সাথে শেয়ার করতে ভুলবেন না। আপনার যে কোনো মতামত কমেন্টে জানাবেন। নিত্য নতুন আপডেট পেতে চ্যানেলটি সাবস্ক্রাইব করুন এবং সাথে থাকা বেল আইকনটি প্রেস করুন। সবার সুস্থতা ও দীর্ঘজীবী কামনা করে শেষ করছি। আল্লাহ হাফেজ।